Okay, I think we are live. I think this is working. Forgive me. I'm just sort of getting used to how to do this again. I want to see how I can see anyone's comments. Okay, I see comments. Yay! Okay, I see Lisa is here and Jamie is here. Wonderful. We did it. This is working. Okay, wonderful. How are you, beautiful beings, this morning? How are you, Lisa? How are you, Jamie? And anyone else who is watching? This is super exciting that we have this amazing technology to connect like this. So it's just such a blessing to be here with you all. So this is really exciting. We are, oh good, woohoo! Okay, thank you, Jamie. This is great, awesome. I'm so glad you're here. I really appreciate your support. Oh good, and Lisa, that's wonderful. I'm so glad. I wanted to say you are so articulate when you were talking on the Zoom last week. I just thought, wow, she's just so articulate and eloquent and amazing. Hi, Joe. Oh my gosh, my people are here. This is so exciting. Joining from Hawaii, no less. This is amazing. I'm so just honored to be here with you guys. This is awesome. So super exciting. We are starting off our Love Yourself Challenge today. This is day 1. And I cannot stop talking about self-love. I cannot stop talking about it. Spirit is on my ass to talk about self-love. I just constantly get the guidance to talk about self-love. And one of the main reasons is that for me, self-love completely saved my life. That sounds dramatic, but it really is the truth. Self-love completely saved my life. And pretty much every gift that I have in my life, everything that is going well in my life, is absolutely because of self-love. So I just can't stop talking about it. I can't overemphasize how important it is. I think if we want to do any single practice to help ourselves feel better, to feel good, and to literally transform our external world, self-love is, to me, the number one thing you can do. So it's just, golly, it's so important. So let's just back up. And so in these 10 days, we're going to go through 10 really tangible practices that you can do. One of the reasons I'm so passionate about talking about self-love, and especially self-love practices, is because I think we all hear, oh, you're supposed to love yourself. We all know that's true. But I know, at least for me, it took a long time for me to figure out, like, what does that actually mean? What does that mean in my daily life? What am I supposed to do to love myself? Give me some hints. So that's what I really want to share in these next 10 days. Every day, we're just going to talk about a particular, very concrete, very tangible practice that you can put into place today, if you want to love on yourself. And so just really practical stuff. We're not just talking all spiritual, we're talking practical things. And then just to also really emphasize that the universal law of as within, so without as we live in an energy of love towards ourselves, we will absolutely always see this reflected in our external world. As we love ourselves more and more, our external world will it seemingly magically shift. This has been my experience. And love will come to us from the external in all of its myriad forms. That means love from other people. That means abundance. That means time. That means ease. That means kindness. All the good things. All the good things come in when we hold this orientation of love towards ourselves. So, golly, I mean, right? It's so important. It's so, so important. I'm just going to take a quick look at the comments again. Thank you guys so much for chiming in on the comments. It's really fun. Yes. Okay. Jamie makes such a great point that we are told to love ourselves. That's a big message in our society, but yet the programming can feel quite different from that, right? We're really basically all bombarded by messages all day long that we are not enough, we're not good enough, we don't achieve enough, we're not good looking enough, we're not good enough parents, we're not good enough spouses, everything. Yeah, so this is really, really dense programming in our society about not being enough. Yes, Joe says programming says you're not complete without this or that, so spend money. Yes, it seems like a lot of the basis of the programming is so that you'll buy something. And even what's really interesting to me, okay, I am a therapist. I have a PhD in therapy. Even to me, this programming in a way that you need to go to a therapist to figure out your life. I do think going to therapy can be very helpful, but I also really believe everything you need is within you and within your spiritual connection. So even therapy, and I am a therapist, I don't think you need to go seek out a therapist necessarily. You can seek within, and everything is within there. Yeah, Joe says, give me money and you'll be enough. Exactly. So we are coming back to the absolute truth that all of us, first of all, are divine, perfect beings as we are right now. As we are right now. We do not have to do anything, be anything further, have anything. We are all absolute divine, perfect beings as we are right now. So a lot of this practice of self-love is really just embodying the orientation of how spirit feels about us, about how God feels about us, to see ourselves through the eyes of God as perfect, divine, innocent, beautiful, whole, complete beings as we are right now. So really, I would say the foundation of self-love is just seeing ourselves as God sees us, as being our own God self to ourself. Of course, we are God, God is us. And just really letting go of all this very dense programming that we're not enough. That is an illusion, that is a lie, that is fear-based, and we can let all of that go. Beautiful. Yeah, and Joe says, sometimes people have trouble speaking to themselves, so a therapist can help. Yes, I absolutely think it can be very helpful. And then you may get to a place where you can just basically speak to yourself and be your own therapist to yourself. Yes, we're all children of God and part of God too. Absolutely. We are all sacred, precious children of God. 100%. Beautiful. So I just want to share a little backstory. I've shared this story many times, so please forgive me if you've heard it before. But I just really want to share how I came into this practice of self love, basically. Um, like many people, I went through a very challenging, dark night of the soul. Um, the biggest one happened about 6 years ago when I was going through a very difficult divorce custody situation with my former spouse. And boy, it was really rough. It was there were private detectives involved and court hearings and threats of taking children away, and both of us were responsible. It was not one-sided, but it was very, very, very painful, challenging. And in addition to that, a lot was coming up for me from my childhood and my life in general of pain, trauma that I hadn't really looked at. I was also, we had just moved to Tennessee. I didn't know anyone. I was very much alone. And basically, it was just a shitstorm, I would say, of everything coming together. Super, super, super difficult. I really, most days, wanted to jump out of my life. I just did not want to be in my life. I didn't know how to handle all of the pain and everything that was falling away. And everything seemed very dark, very hopeless. I felt completely alone. Uh, Very, very challenging time for me. And basically, a miracle happened. I considered a miracle. This book came into my life. I don't even remember how. Just all of a sudden, I had this book. And the book is called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. It's an absolutely amazing book. And this book changed my life. This book changed my life. This book taught me about self-love. And in this beautiful book, the author talks about being very, very ill, basically being on his deathbed and not knowing what to do. And somehow it came to him to start loving himself. And he started to say just really simple, basic, loving affirmations to himself. I believe they were just like, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. And the author writes in this book that within about a month, miracles started to happen in his life from this practice of self love. And he eventually completely recovered from his illness and went on to live a really beautiful life. So this book changed my life, and it was about 6 years ago that I too started a self-love practice. And I just started with I love myself. I just kept saying that as an affirmation to myself as much as I could, uh, all day long, really, and particularly if I was really having a hard time. And I found that it felt really great to say. I felt better when I was saying it. And I'll also just say, really honestly, when I first started saying it, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. When I was saying it, I was saying the words, but I wasn't really believing that I loved myself. I didn't really even know kind of what that meant or what that felt like. I was basically just trying, sort of faking it until I could make it. Now, when I say I love myself, I do really feel it. And I do feel that I believe that. But I think sometimes it just takes some practice and just start to say it And eventually it will feel more authentic and more comfortable. So it was about 6 years ago that I started my own self-love practice. And not surprisingly, it really was about 6 years ago that my life started to shift. It wasn't long after I started my self-love practice that I had many um, inspirations about how to heal the relationship with my former spouse. And we had a miraculous resolution to our custody situation. And then literally just, I would say, miracle after miracle after miracle after that over the past 6 years. I've really been living in miracle land, I would say. I'm not saying everything is perfect in my life or that everything has been easy, but I would say I experience many, many miracles. And I would say that the deeper my self-love seems to grow, the more magical my life really becomes. So yeah, I just can't stop talking about self-love. It's amazing. So over these next 10 days, I hope you'll join me every day. If you can join me live, that's amazing. If you listen to the recording, that's amazing. And we're just going to go through each day a self-love practice and see if it resonates for you. If it doesn't resonate, forget about it. If it does resonate, great. And I would also love to hear about any of your self-love practices. They're really infinite self-love practices. These are just 10 that have been really helpful for me. But I love hearing about how you give yourself love, how you put this into practice. And just sharing this, I think, is just great for all of us. Okay, so the 10 self-love practices that we're going to go through this week are the following. Get my notes out. Okay, the first one is setting an intention about self-love. The second one is self-love affirmations. The third one is presence with yourself, keeping presence with yourself. The fourth one is spending time with yourself. The fifth self-love practice is acting from your own values. The sixth one is privileging your own dreams. The seventh one is do not settle. Do not settle in your life. The eighth one is pivot. Pivoting where your higher self, where your guidance is really leading you. The ninth one is acting from faith, not fear. And the 10th one is releasing yourself from participating in non-loving interactions. And I probably should have put this one in. This is like my number one practice of self-love, is basically like complete trust of yourself, complete honoring of yourself, which means whatever is arising in me, I am honoring it. Whether it's an uncomfortable feeling, whether it's a desire I have, whether it's a red flag that's coming up, whether that's a dream that's really coming through me, is just such a comprehensive, radical, complete, ubiquitous honoring of yourself, trust of yourself, privileging of yourself. So this orientation is really the number one practice that I embody myself and that I think is really, really helpful. So that practice really is the number one foundation and undergirds every other practice we're talking about. So just again, that practice is honoring yourself, trusting yourself, privileging yourself above all else. It doesn't mean we don't listen to other people or seek advice sometimes or counsel or guidance, but we run everything through our own guidance system, our own intuition, our own selves. We are sovereign. We are sovereign. We privilege our own guidance, our own selves. We are sovereign beings. Our life is really between us and God, period. That's it. Okay. Okay, cool, Jamie. Thanks for commenting. Yeah, if you want to share anything, that would be awesome. Okay, so the first practice here, day 1, is really simple. If this feels resonant, it's just to set an intention about loving yourself as much as possible. That's it. We're just going to start off with setting an intention about it. I love to set intentions. This just gets the ball rolling, right? When we set an intention, we are saying to ourselves and we are saying to the universe, this is what I want. This is what I'm aiming for. This is the track that I am on. This is important to me. This is what I'm privileging and honoring. And please help me. So if it feels resonant right now, you can set an intention to love yourself as much as possible. You can write this down. You can just say it internally. You can say it out loud, whatever feels powerful for you. I know for me, I love to write my intentions down. I think it's very powerful to write it down. And then I also love speaking it out loud and saying it internally. So I really do all three. I think it's fun to do all three. And so this intention could be something very simple, like my intention is to love myself as much as possible. Or my intention is to increase my self-love towards myself every day. Or my intention is to love myself. Whatever feels perfect for you. And if anyone wants to share in the comments your intention, I'd love to hear it. And so as you sit with this intention, as you feel the energy of this intention within your being, I'm just really curious how that feels to you. And if anyone wants to share in the comments, how does it feel, first of all, to take time to even think about this? Okay, so Jamie, thanks for commenting. Jamie says, out loud feels super uncomfortable. Okay, so there's probably a bit of an expansion point there, right? Like whatever we feel uncomfortable about, we can lean in there and just, well, if I try it, what could happen? Wherever we feel uncomfortable, there's probably some room for us to really move into a different space. So that's awesome, Jamie. I love that you said it's uncomfortable and I'm totally doing it. That is so awesome. It's interesting too, because if you say like out loud, I love myself, and then you think someone else might hear you, at least to me, I am still under the programming that I might feel a little awkward about that. Like, oh, God forbid someone heard me say to myself that I love myself, like that there's something wrong with that, right? That, there's something embarrassing or that we're being self-centered or something. Yeah, it's funny that the programming is so dense about that somehow it might be self-centered to focus on loving ourselves. So that's awesome, Jamie. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, Joe, I love that. Exactly. Someone gives me a look, I'll just say, I love you too. Exactly. Exactly. I love that so much, Joe. Thank you so much. And Joe, you're touching on a point that I think we all are so aware of, that we're really only able to offer love to other people as much as we're able to offer love to ourselves. And we really see that, right? We see that in our relationships with other people. We see that all the time. And when we experience something unloving from another, we understand that it's a reflection of really their own relationship with themselves. So, however, anyone is acting towards us is always just a mirror, a reflection of how they're acting towards themselves. And it doesn't mean that it may not be painful for us. It can feel very painful, but we also can just sort of understand where it's coming from, and in a way not take it so personally, to just understand however someone is acting towards us is just a reflection of their own relationship with themselves. So from that orientation, what's the best thing we can do for other people? Really, the best thing we can do for other people is start by loving ourselves. The more we are able to love ourselves, the more we're able to love others. So it's a win-win, right? So great point. I'm trying to read. Let's see. I want to get to some of your comments here that are so great. It's so fun that so many people are here. I love it. Debbie, you said something, and it's not showing up on my. Let me see if it's here. Just wanted to read it. And Christina, I like your comment too. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Oh, Debbie says, I love myself as much as possible. That is awesome. I'm just seeing how I can, I'm not sure how to totally reach the whole chat. Okay, that's okay. So Debbie, that is such an awesome comment. I love myself as much as possible. And how does that feel? When you say that to yourself, I love myself as much as possible. I know that feels really good when I say it. It just feels like I care about myself. It feels like I'm honoring myself. It feels like I'm privileging myself. And this is just another point that we're often so programmed to focus on other people and just move our energy out away from us to other people to like take care of them. And it can feel kind of uncomfortable to bring our energy back to ourselves and to focus on ourselves. But again, as we keep saying, it's really our ability to love ourselves first that helps us love others. And we all, I think, have had the experience of our tank being really empty when we give and give and give. And then within ourselves, we can just feel really depleted. So we're really always talking about filling up our own tank first, and then with overflow, giving love to others, but loving ourselves first. Beautiful. Okay, and Christina, you had a really good point too. I'm not sure how to see all the comments here. You had a good point. You said something about cooking and giving yourself a compliment. That is so awesome. And Debbie, you say, it does feel a little weird at first, but I've done this before. The uncomfortableness gets less. Yes, exactly. And again, anything that feels weird just means we're not used to doing it. And most likely we have some programming around it that we're letting go of. So beautiful. We're just practicing this like we practice anything, and we'll get better at it, and it will feel more comfortable. Lisa, you say, I think I'll need to start with something like, it's okay for me to love myself. Yes, exactly. So we can pick something that feels like reachable. We don't want to pick something that just feels like so uncomfortable that it may prevent us from actually using it. So yeah, we're just taking little steps here. So we want to pick an affirmation or an intention, uh, something that's not too far out of our reach, that we can reach it. So that's great. That's such a great start. It's okay for me to love myself. That is such a beautiful start, Lisa. That's beautiful. And Lisa, when you say that, I'm just curious how that feels to you. If it feels uncomfortable, if there's some feeling of, oh, that actually feels pretty good in some ways to me. Okay, beautiful. I love what we are doing here. Amazing people. We are loving ourselves. And this is how our external world shifts. And this is how really the whole world shifts when we are more and more in this orientation of love towards ourselves. This means more love towards others. This means more peace, all of it. It's just, this is how we shift the entire world, is through love. I've been just thinking about this self-love revolution. Self-love revolution. It is really time for a self-love revolution on this planet. Do you all agree? What do you think? I just love that. Feels very exciting. And all of us, we can all be ambassadors of this self-love revolution and just making it happen. The time is now. You are the change. We got this. Okay. So today, yes. Okay, Jamie, you said chills. Yes. It's our only hope. Yeah. Yeah, it's time for a self-love revolution. We've tried other things on the planet, right? We've tried capitalism. We've tried patriarchy. We've tried lots of other ways, and those ways are not working for anybody, not working for Mother Earth. Yeah, so let's really ground in to self-love, and let's all of us, everybody on this call right now, excuse me, let's be self-love ambassadors. Let's do this. Let's do it for ourselves. Let's model this for other people. Let's spread the word. Let's change the world. Yeah, nothing short of changing the world. Let's do it. The time is now. We are the change. We are the ones we have been looking for. Yeah, we are the change right here. And the change, we always hear this, the change starts with you. The change starts with you. We love ourselves. We model this for others. We have love to give. We can transform the whole world. Let's do it. Debbie says, it feels like I'm installing a bug fix to the previous programming and installing a new bug-free one. Yes, we're literally just changing the software that we run on, right? When we all came into our bodies as little babies, we knew about self-love. We came right from spirit. We were just completely spirit at that point without any of the human programming. And then over time, it's really interesting. I could see this in my children when they reached about 7 or 8 years old. I could see the human programming starting to kick in, and I could see them falling more and more away from the truth of their divine, perfect God self being. So this happens to all of us. It's pretty heartbreaking to see, but it's okay. We can come back to it. We can choose to release this software programming that would tell us we're not enough, that would tell us we shouldn't love ourselves, that would tell us we can't follow our dreams, all this bullshit programming. And we can release all that and we can come back to the truth. We are divine, perfect, beautiful beings. We are here to have an amazing, magical human experience. We are here to grow and learn lessons. And we are also here to just have an amazing time and to bring through every single dream we have for our lives. We are really here to bring heaven to earth. That is what this time period is about. And that's why there are so many light workers on the planet. We are here, nothing short of bringing heaven to earth. It is possible. It is why we're here. It is the transition into this new world that we all know is possible. And Lisa says, I think I need to start as a trainee or an aide. That's fine. Yes. We can all start wherever feels comfortable. And that's great. That's great to just think of it that way. I'm in training. I'm in training in this self-love orientation. And also just to realize we are all eternal souls. There is no rush. We literally have all the time in the world. We have infinite time. We will always be expanding and growing in some way throughout the amazing infinite journey of our soul. So we don't even need to think about like, oh, this lifetime, how can I expand? We're going to be expanding infinitely, eternally. So there is no rush. So this is part of self-love as well, is just giving ourselves grace, honoring where we are right now, appreciating who we are, where we are right now. So much appreciating who we are, where we are right now, and appreciating where we're going as well. So holding both of that. I love and appreciate and honor myself as I am right now. Even if I feel like I don't really love myself that much, let's honor that. Just honor wherever you are. That's loving yourself. Like we can love, maybe I don't love myself as much as I want to. Well, just love that. Just love wherever you are. Love wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're embodying right now. And you can love the future version of yourself as well. But let's love who we are right now. Give yourself that beautiful gift of loving yourself as you are right now. How does that feel? How does that feel? I love myself as I am right now. I love myself as I am right now. And a couple further affirmations around that, which are really powerful, is I love everybody else as they are right now. So, of course, our human self, sometimes if we have troubles with people, the human self might think, gosh, I really wish they were a little bit different. It would be easier, right? My life might be easier if some people in my life are a little bit different. It's okay. It's okay to honor how the human self feels about that. We honor that. But also, how does it feel when you're embodying sort of the larger part of yourself, your more God self, to just, I accept and love where everybody is right now. I love everyone as they are right now. This feels very relieving to me. Feels like a relief. Just, okay, I love everyone else exactly as they are right now. No one needs to change. No one needs to change so that I can feel better. I can feel better just on my own. I can feel love, joy, and peace just on my own. I don't need anyone to do anything differently. And then another expansion from this is I love my life exactly as it is right now. I love my life exactly as it is right now. It doesn't mean it's perfect. It doesn't mean there aren't things that I'd like to bring in, but it just means I accept and I see the beauty and I understand everything is always happening for my highest and best. And I can just be at peace. I love the affirmation, I trust life. I trust life. I trust life. So all of these orientations, I love myself as I am right now. I love others as they are right now. I love my life as it is right now. All of these orientations really just help bring peace to ourselves. And just this blanket, I trust life. I trust my journey. I trust life. And I think all of us can look back at different challenging experiences we have had in the past where our human self thought, oh my goodness, this is awful. Oh my goodness, get me out of this experience right now. But when we look back, we realize, oh, look at all the ways I was able to expand from that experience. Look at all the actual gifts that came in from that experience. My human self didn't know the whole picture. My human self, I know my human self. My human self just wants things easy. My human self wants to like be on a beach eating Doritos, lying around. That's what my human self really wants. I just want to relax. Everything's really easy. There's no emotional pain, all of that. That's what my human self wants. But if my whole life had been like that, I wouldn't have grown at all. And I wouldn't have really actually known how to have peace and joy within myself. And so this is, to me at least, one of the main goals of all of this is just to become very whole and complete. It's not become, it's remembering. It's not becoming anything. It's just taking off all the layers and just remembering and feeling into the peace and joy and love that is within each one of us constantly. It's always been there our whole lifetime. It's just been covered up with programming and our fears and our stories and our illusions. So my point being that all of these experiences that can be very challenging, they all are removing all of the layers that are really not us, and they're all helping us remember and just come back to our sacred self, to our sacred energy, which is just pure love, joy, bliss, and contentment. Oh, yeah, it feels good, right? It feels good. It feels good to remember everything is here. Everything is right inside of me. I really don't need anything on the external world. I really don't need anything in particular to happen. My joy, peace, and love are all within me through my connection with spirit. Debbie says, okay, Jamie says, easier to love some people as they are, but over there, yes. Oh my goodness. Our teachers, right? Our teachers sometimes are easier to love from a distance. And at the same time, the more we lean into some uncomfortable relationships and the more we allow ourselves to feel what's there, we often have huge openings and expansions. So yeah, our teachers are intense and amazing. Debbie says some of those are a little more challenging to believe, but I'm going to say them anyway. Awesome. Joe says it's okay sometimes to lead by example, show the peace and happy. People will want it too and ask you how to get it. Yes. Yes. As much as we sometimes maybe want to share, like, oh, this really works for me, like you might want to try it. The best way usually is just through example, just for people to see you in your happiness and peace and contentment. And then they're motivated to maybe ask you about it or, wow, what are you doing? I'd like some of that. So yeah, just be the change, embody what you want to see in the world, and people will notice and people will ask you and people will be motivated to do it themselves. Oh my gosh, this has been so fun. I just love talking about self-love, and I love being with you guys, and so fun reading your comments. I'm so grateful that you all were here. This is amazing. So just to summarize, day one, if it feels resonant, to set a self-love intention. That's what we're going to start with day one. Set a self-love intention. My intention is to love myself. My intention is to bring more self-love into my everyday experience. My intention is to marinate in a beautiful energy of self-love throughout each minute of my day. And another little fun thing, Wendy, our dear sister Wendy, she shared with us last week that she was doing a self-love challenge. And part of the challenge was every time you see yourself in a reflection, like in a mirror or, in your car window, anytime you see yourself, to say to yourself, I love you. So if that feels resonant, we can also do that. The more, the better. The more of these, I think, the better, right? It can't hurt just to love on ourselves in every possible way. So when you're brushing your teeth in the morning or at night, yeah, you can just say, I love myself. You can't, it's hard to say it when you're brushing your teeth, but you can say it internally. I love myself. How many times do we look in the mirror and not love ourselves, right? I know my go-to is, oh, what don't I like in what I see? What needs fixing in what I see when I see my physical reflection? So this is, we did a program on your fountain of youth. And this is such a big thing when we love our body, instead of giving our body criticism, our body will shift. Our body will demonstrate to us the amount of love. It will reflect back to us the love that we're showing it. We all know those experiments with plants. Maybe you've done it. You have two plants, and one of the plants you say, I love you, you're awesome, you're beautiful, and you just love on it. The other plant, maybe you ignore it, or you might even say hurtful things to it, and the plants will grow differently. So everything is energetic. We all, the energy is invisible, but it's present. And we all feel that energy, and our body absolutely reflects back to us the energy that we are sending our body, that we are holding for our body. So yeah, the more you love on your body, the more you will see beautiful transformations in your precious body. Okay. So you guys like Facebook? Awesome. Yeah, this is great. And actually, I think this is also streaming to our You Are Your Own Hero YouTube channel as well, I think. So yeah, we got high tech today. Jamie says, totally doing that. So glad she shared that. LOL. I look in the mirror all day as I clean. Yes. Okay, great. So you can be doing this all day long. I love that. Debbie says, I talk to my water and my food. I say, I love you. Oh, that is so great. I always mean to do that. I don't think I've ever done that, but that's amazing. The whole idea of blessing your food before you consume it. And that's why, like, when we eat homemade food that someone has made for us, it usually tastes better, doesn't it? Because there's love in it. We can feel the difference. Love is such a powerful energy. Love is the absolute backbone of the entire universe. The universe is basically just love. Yeah, I Reiki my food. I love it. Awesome. Yes, start again right now. This has been so much fun, you guys. I I love this. I love this. What's better than to really just kick off your whole day by talking about love and self-love with dear, precious friends. This is amazing. So, I will be back here tomorrow, same time, same place, and we're going to talk more about self-love. I would love to hear about your experience today with setting an intention and using affirmations and any other magical self-love alchemy practices that you are doing. And tomorrow we're going to concentrate on self-love affirmations. So exciting. So much love, of course, to all of you beautiful people. Thank you so much for joining me. If you want to invite anyone into the You Are Your Own Hero group, please do so. We just want to spread the word. We just want everyone to come back to themselves, to come back to self-love. We are on a self-love revolution. So anyone you want to invite, please do. Anyone you want to invite to the Facebook Live, please do. Basically, I think my plan is every day for the next 10 days, we're just going to do a Facebook Live at 12 p.m. Eastern on self-love. And we're just going to continue to watch the magic unfold in our precious lives. So much love to you. Oh, Jamie says I invited a bunch of people. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Great. I love myself and all of you unconditionally. I love myself and I love all of you unconditionally. And yeah, we'll stay in touch on the Facebook group and I'll hopefully see you all tomorrow. Mwah! So much love to everybody. Bye.